Ever since Orville and Wilbur Wright took the first airplane flight in 1903 on the hills of Kitty Hawk, there has been many advancements in aviation. Far from the wood and fabric airplane that they built for the 12-second flight, today's modern jets connect continents, flying higher and faster. Air travel was once a luxury, now it has been more accessible. However, one aspect of commercial aviation that has been limited is the use of supersonic air travel, which for the most part has been limited to just experimental aircraft, military aircraft, and some cool aircraft like the SR-71. That isn't to say that there hasn't been any attempts for supersonic air travel, as the Concorde was the last prominent supersonic commercial aircraft. Now, one company is looking to bring back supersonic air travel for the future. That company, the subject of this video, is Boom Supersonic, which caught attention and headlines as United Airlines recently announced an order for supersonic aircraft from the company. As the aviation industry continues to count its losses and mount its recovery after a dismal 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Chicago-based United Airlines announced it would order 15 of Boom's Overture aircraft, the commercial airliner version of the supersonic aircraft offerings of Boom. Along with the 15 Overture aircraft ordered by United, the airline will have an additional 35 aircraft on option. According to both United and Boom, the Overture is expected to be the first large commercial aircraft to be net zero carbon from day one, using 100% sustainable aviation fuel. Along with the order for the aircraft, both United and Boom have committed to work together to accelerate the production of sustainable aviation fuels. Now, it's important to note that the aircraft is still in development, and Boom has scheduled the rollout for the aircraft by the year 2025. Following that, the first flight will take place around 2026 before first passenger services in 2029. While waiting, in the meantime, we can take a look at the specs for the aircraft. According to Boom, the aircraft will have a length of around 205 feet, with a capacity for around 65 to 88 passengers. Capable of reaching speeds of Mach 1.7 and cruising at an altitude of around 60,000 feet. The Overture will have a range of around 4,250 nautical miles, or around 7,871 kilometers. This aircraft would be able to reduce the travel time between cities divided by, say, the Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean by half. And in its press release and the marketing materials it has been releasing on social media, United has been teasing the possible routes, including flights from Newark to London, Newark to Frankfurt, and San Francisco to Tokyo. From United's East Coast hub at Newark, a flight across the pond to London using the Overture would take approximately 3.5 hours, while a 10 to 12 hour trip between San Francisco and Tokyo across the Pacific, depending on wind conditions, could be reduced to around 6.5 hours. As the Overture brings in some excitement for supersonic air travel and United Airlines could be ushering the way for this, we'll take a look at the company of Boom Supersonic, which is based near Denver, Colorado. This startup company was founded in 2014 with the mission to bring sustainable supersonic flight. Its backers include venture capital firms along with prominent aviation and military industry leaders. Along with the Overture, Boom is also working on the demonstrator aircraft, the XB-1, which was rolled out in 2020. Boom will be using this XB-1 for supersonic test flights between this year and next. As for the developments in the commercial aircraft, the Overture, Boom has reported it has received 70 orders. Interestingly enough, there actually is another prominent airline that preceded United Airlines' order, and that is Japan Airlines. Back in 2017, Japan Airlines announced a partnership with Boom Supersonic, which came in with a $10 billion investment from the Tokyo-based airline to Boom. According to the news release from Japan Airlines back in 2017, it does have an option for 20 of the aircraft. And the nature of the involvement with Boom, Japan Airlines is providing its knowledge and expertise as an airline for the startup company. Along with the commercial airline applications that could be applied by Japan Airlines and United, Boom is also collaborating with the United States Air Force as the aircraft could be potentially used as a future military transport. After a rough few years in the aviation industry amid the COVID-19 pandemic, there is some light news, and this is one of them. It is even more exciting that it is an innovation compared to the modern aviation scene that we have today. However, the real challenges will be bringing the ideas to reality, and Boom still has to prove itself with the test flights and the rollout of the aircraft. However, the task of bringing supersonic air travel to the skies is actually doable, as we have seen with the Concorde of the past. Like the Boeing 747, which changed aviation, Concorde had the same effect, though ultimately Concorde experienced some challenges and wasn't that much of a commercial success. Now, nearly 2 decades after the Concorde took its last flight, Boom and the Overture is a new bid to create a supersonic future for air travel. What are your thoughts on Boom and the Overture, and do you think it can pave the way for supersonic air travel in the future? I definitely would love to hear your take, though in the meantime, this has been Flights in Asia, highlighting the news and updates from the aviation and travel scene in the Asia Pacific. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.